Hola, amigos! Are you learning Spanish and finding it a bit tricky? Well, let me tell you, accent marks are your friends in this journey. They might seem small, but they make a big difference in how words are understood and pronounced. In Spanish, these little guys tell you exactly how to pronounce words correctly, guiding your speech. Think of it like this. The accent mark is like a little spotlight that shines on the syllable you need to emphasize. It highlights the syllable, making sure you stress the right part of the word. Without it, you might say the word wrong and confuse your Spanish-speaking friends. Imagine the embarrassment of saying papa instead of papa. But don't worry, mastering Spanish accent marks is easier than you think. It's all about practice and understanding the rules. With a few simple rules and some practice, you'll be speaking like a native in no time, impressing everyone with your skills. So, let's dive in and uncover the secrets of these powerful little marks together. Ready? Let's go. First things first, let's talk about how to pronounce Spanish vowels and consonants. This is the foundation of speaking Spanish clearly and confidently. Good news, Spanish pronunciation is pretty straightforward, even for us English speakers. With a bit of practice, you'll find it quite intuitive. Vowels in Spanish are nice and pure. No diphthongs here. Each vowel has a single, consistent sound. For example, a sounds like ah in father, which is open and relaxed. E is like E in bed, a short and crisp sound, and I is like E in see. Simple, right? These sounds are always the same, no matter where they appear in a word. Consonants are mostly the same as in English, but watch out for a few tricky ones. Some letters have different sounds depending on their placement. For example, C sounds like S before E or I, like in gracias. This is a soft sound, almost like a hiss. Otherwise it sounds like K, like in casa. This is a hard sound, similar to the English K. Remember, practice makes perfect. Keep listening to native speakers and try to imitate their pronunciation. Pay attention to the rhythm and intonation as well. You'll be surprised how quickly you improve. Consistent practice and exposure are key to mastering Spanish pronunciation. Now, let's talk about the stars of the show, accent marks. These little guys tell you which syllable to stress when you say a word. And guess what? Changing the stress can completely change the meaning of the word. For instance, papa, pronounced pa, means potato, but papa, pronounced papa, means dad. See how important that little accent mark is? Accent marks also help us distinguish between words that are spelled the same but have different meanings. For example, L means the masculine, while L means he. So, next time you see an accent mark, don't ignore it. It's there for a reason. Ready to become an accent mark master? It's a journey worth taking. It's easier than you think. With a bit of practice and understanding, you'll be able to spot and use accent marks like a pro. Here are a few basic rules to get you started. These will form the foundation of your learning. 1. Words ending in a vowel, N, or S usually stress the second to last syllable. This is a common pattern you'll see often. No accent mark is needed here. It's a natural stress pattern in the language. For example, mesa, table, arbol, arbol, tree. Notice how the stress falls naturally on the second to last syllable. 2. Words ending in a consonant, except N or S, usually stress the last syllable. This is another key rule to remember. Again, no accent mark here. The stress is naturally on the last syllable. For example, ciudad, city, comer, to eat. The stress falls on the last syllable as expected. 3. If a word breaks these rules, it gets an accent mark to show the stressed syllable. This helps clarify pronunciation. For example, canción, song, telefono, telephone. The accent marks indicate the stress on the syllables. Of course, there are a few more specific rules, but these 3 will give you a great foundation. Understanding these will make learning the rest much easier. Practice identifying the stressed syllable in Spanish words, and you'll be well on your way to mastering accent marks. Consistent practice is key to becoming proficient. Now that you've got the basics down, let's put your knowledge to the test with some practical examples. Practice makes perfect after all. First, let's look at the word lemon. According to our rules, since it ends in an N, we would normally stress the second to last syllable. But here the accent mark on the O tells us to stress the last syllable instead. So it's pronounced limon. Next, take the word medico, doctor. Without any accent marks, it would be stressed on the second to last syllable, medico. But if you add an accent mark, it changes the meaning. Medico means doctor, while medico means he, she, it medicated. Notice the different stresses, medico versus medico. Now let's try corazon, heart. It ends in a consonant other than N or S, so we naturally stress the last syllable, corazon. But with an accent mark on the O, it becomes corazon, emphasizing the last syllable even more clearly. One more example. Jóvenes, or jóvenes, young people. By default, the stress falls on the second to last syllable, jóvenes. However, with an accent mark, it becomes jóvenes, ensuring the stress is on the first syllable. Practice these examples and others you come across. The more you practice, the more intuitive it will become. You'll start to see the patterns and rules naturally, and using accent marks correctly will become second nature. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great content. Hasta luego.